you? It's your boy Swartz, y'all. And today, I'm dedicating this episode to my youngins, man. For all of my young savages, my demons, all the ones out there drilling on shit, going crazy, and not knowing how to conduct their goddamn self in homicide interrogations. I got something for y'all. Because the thing is, my youngins, they think that they know everything. And I've been there. I understand. You feel me? I've been at that place in my life where I felt like I had nothing to lose. And when you feel like that, if you ever in that space and you feel like you got nothing to lose and you young, in our community, in the black community, you either gonna hustle or you gonna drill on shit. You gonna do something to get your success and get your respect. So I'm not here to really criticize the young boys and grind them up, but to help y'all out. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of y'all lack basic knowledge when it comes to basic tactics used by homicide detectives during interrogations. And if you ask a young nigga like, what do you do when getting interrogated? All they got to say is, well, you don't rat, or you don't rat. Well, how do you conduct yourself during this interrogation? You got to tell me something else. And they really have nothing else for you. So this lets me know that a lot of them are doomed the moment they step foot through them doors, because you don't know what them people can do to you and what they can't do to you. So you damn sure don't know what they gonna do to you. And the thing is, we have to learn these things if you're gonna be out here in the streets, youngin. You feel me? My channel not really gonna be about that, but I've been seeing a lot of this lately, and I'm choosing not to criticize y'all because I understand other people may not understand why y'all doing what y'all doing, and it may not make no sense. You feel me? But I understand that you may just be a little lost right now, and just because somebody points you down the wrong path and you choose to walk, that don't make you a bad person. You feel me? I understand that us as black people, we going to use, or people period, people are going to use whatever resources they have around them to further help them succeed. You feel me? That's just what we want to do. So let's get into this, y'all.
Go to sleep, dream about all black Range Rovers. Wake up, throwing up, homicide, hangovers. Call up Sav the Johnny right here. Call up Lean the problem right there. That's at least 5 homies right there.
American rebels, we were born to rebel.
Understand, the moment that you walk into a district, regardless of who you are in your city, it is intended to strip you of any power that you have on the outside. It is intended to make you feel weak and helpless, first and foremost. That's why I'm going to start with a place that accumulates so much trauma with us in the black community, and that is the holding cell. See, the holding cell symbolizes isolation. The holding cell was designed specifically to make you feel exactly how it makes you feel, alone, so that you experience the highest level of loneliness and that you're vulnerable. They want to enhance that sense of isolation. Understand, human beings, we are social creatures. We are most psychologically sound when interacting with other human beings. See, socially isolated people are less able to deal with stressful situations, like sitting in a cell alone, contemplating how you might be about to fight a body. See, they are also more likely to feel depressed and have problems processing this information. This can lead to difficulties with decision making and trying to recall certain events. They leave you in that building for hours because it makes humans feel powerless, alone, paranoid, and it increases your anxiety. All of these components play a role in how clearly you will be able to think by the time the interrogation starts. Remember this. Be aware of this. The longer you are in a holding cell, the more likely it is that they need you to crack. They need you weak. They need you tired. They need you fiending for perks, weed, cigarettes, whatever. But the point is, they need you. Without you incriminating yourself, their case is probably so weak that a district attorney can't even process it. But remember this, in these situations, they will always portray that they're the one in control, that you need them. Remember this. Now, my young demons, this is an important part, because for seasoned detectives, a lot of seasoned homicide detectives, this is where the interrogation even starts. And this is where a lot of y'all tend to mess up at. And the homicide detective already know he got you from the rip. This is when he's going to come in and he's going to start to ask you irrelevant questions. Questions that they already know. Is your name so-and-so? Is your mother's name so-and-so? Is this you right here in the picture? Is this your address? Understand, these questions are only being asked to analyze your mannerisms. These questions are only being asked to pinpoint your expressions when being truthful and to build a behavioral baseline. They will almost always be asked with a polite, friendly tone, with an inviting voice. Some of the detectives will even come in dressing like you. They'll come in with a Gucci belt on, with some designer jeans, trying to be as relatable as possible. This is when they will start their small talk. They will come in talking about women, talking about sports. Some of them will even start talking about street politics. Now listen, this is some advice when you get to this part. I'm gonna call it the questionnaire part. The questionnaire of irrelevant shit. They call it a behavioral baseline. When you get to this part where they're asking you irrelevant questions like, what is your name? Take 4 seconds to answer every question. Even irrelevant ass questions like, what is your name? Is this your mother's name? Is this you? When they ask, is your name Jerome? Yes. Is your mother name Betsy? Yes. By the time they get to, did you kill Ray Ray with a 45? You could say, no. Now, it might seem funny, but it would really bother them if you did this, because it would be making their job harder. Now, because they built this fake ass rapport with you, this would be the part where they try to offer you some food, give you a cigarette, something to drink, get you a little comfortable, tell you that they like you, you know, you feel me? In a slick ass manipulative way. They gonna try to slide in there to how they don't believe that you're the type of guy who would do this, and tell me your side of the story. Oh, trust me, man. Lawyer? Nah, you don't need no lawyer. Fifth Amendment? What's that, man? You don't need that, man. My advice to y'all, youngins, my advice to y'all, do not take anything that a police officer offers you. Like I told you before, we are social creatures. Most human beings have a moral obligation to return favors. If somebody gives you $1 if you needed it, then you see that they needed $1, you would morally feel obligated to give it to them. It's something in your conscience that would encourage you to do it, whether you want to admit that or not. Plus, the uncomfortable isolation is more incentive for you to be nice to a man who's being nice to you and portraying himself as your only key to freedom. But don't be fooled, because the next step is the accusation stage. And by this time, they already have a behavioral baseline for you. And what I mean by that is that the detective is comfortable identifying when you're uncomfortable or possibly lying. This is when that friendly, trustful aura will disappear, and it will be replaced with anger, disgust, and impatience for anything that is not in harmony with his conclusion. This is when they will start to say, we know you did it for a fact. We just want to understand why. During this time, you will not be allowed to verbalize any denials. Any excuses or denials will claim to be contradictory to the facts. This is when they will raise their voice at you and tell you to stop and shut up. Not because, and this is not something that they made up. This is because police interrogation tactics implies that suspects should not be allowed to verbalize denial. This is an attempt to intimidate you into a confession. I need y'all to really pay attention to all this stuff, because most of y'all probably thinking back on times y'all been in interrogation rooms and thinking about all of these things that the cops did, and it's not personal. Do not take it personal. This is a reoccurring theme for them. They do this daily. Now listen, this part is important because this is the fake evidence ploy. This is when the detective will lie and say that he had video surveillance, phone records, like they tapped your phone, they got witnesses, etc. All of this is a ploy to get you into a confession. And understand, it is absolutely legal. It is legal for detectives to use deceit during an interrogation to get a confession. And my advice to y'all for this is, when a cop comes presenting evidence to you, because a lot of the times they will mix the truth with lies to make it more believable. But when they come present something to you, whether it's true or false, do not react. Do not react to it. If they have anything on you, let them work with that. Because if they have anything on you, you're getting charged anyway. Do not, I repeat, do not try to talk yourself out of the situation. It never happens. Don't try to talk it. Don't try to make it make sense to the detective of how it wasn't you, because you already sitting here. Just listen. Do not react to anything. That is my advice for that part. Please. And we almost done, y'all. Now, this is like the last one. And this is the theme stage. And I'm hoping that a lot of y'all don't even make it to this part, but this is when the detective will create two themes. And both of the themes, you did it. But in the first theme, you would be the monster, the menace to society, and this was premeditated, and just to get you the maximum, to scare you of that. And the second theme would be more understanding. It would be an accident. Oh, this was just an accident. You did it though, but it was just an accident. I understand. You feel me? I would have did the same thing if I were in your shoes. Some cops say shit like this. You feel me? But both of them are for the same outcome, a confession. And detectives are trained to spot your breaking point. It's things that you do with your body language to let a detective know that they got you on the ropes, and they are trained to snap on that as soon as they see it. And this is when they might move closer to you. They might put their hands on your hands. They might start talking soft to you again in a friendly tone. See, if they get you at that, it's not over for you if they get you at that point. But a lot of times you probably done said too much already and put yourself in a fucked up situation. This is why, if you don't ask for an attorney when you go into the district, which you should, but the procedure how the detective is going to play it is, he's going to go probably call you a PD or something, but he's going to still try to talk to you while the PD is on their way. And that's up to you if you do that, but you don't have to. The best thing to do would be to call an attorney, because if you don't call an attorney, the detectives can hold you for 72 hours standing homicide, and they will hold you for every last minute if you don't get no attorney down there, so that you can be released after the interrogation is over, if you can be released.